All right. So that kind of we set up everybody by running that series, and then we call this our 300 series because a lot of teams will sit in that 200 series, that power series, and just play football that way. But if they're really keying on your blocking back, this series here will cause them a lot of problems defensively. So there's always an inside out action on this, and even today when I'm running a lot more running quarterback, pistol type stuff, with a lot of the power read and that kind of stuff. To me, it's still single wing. It's just a different. We just kind of evolved it into a little more of a spread thing. But I always want to attack inside out. I always want to have make them defend the inside. Make them defend the outside. So you got jet sweep with a quarterback ISO or a quarterback trap. Real similar stuff to this, but if you're keying on the blocking back, this works really well because the blocking back's going to stand up and spin around. So he's not going anywhere. So, it's saying he always takes you to the play. The kids on the field don't believe the coach anymore when they see this. So, but basically, dive and sweep are part of the main plays on this. Your wing tee, if you wing tee guys, the buck sweep play where you dive and then, cross to the sweep. It's real similar. I mean, even your pistol teams now that run that real deep sweep and they'll dive the fullback and hand off to the sweep around. That's the same type play, inside out. Forces defense to play the whole field, defend everything, which is good because you never want to try to, unless you're bigger than everybody else, you always kind of want to make them defend it vertically and horizontally. I found out this was one of my best passing series. I had a halfback that could throw the ball sometimes, and my quarterback was pretty good at the jump pass. So basically, if everybody's really coming hard to the dive, that pitch and pass works really well. And of course, it kills the blocking back key reader. So if you're a key reader and you're just following him, he's just going to turn around and stand there. Um, the ball in this series is one of the few that it's always snapped to the spin back. His rule in this series when you teach him is he's going to catch the ball and dive into the line, and he does that on every single play in this whole series. There's two different traps I run with my spin back, which we'll go over here in a minute. Strong side and weak side. The blocking back's going to pivot 180 degrees, so there's actually some simple footwork I taught him. He would step with his right foot like to center himself, and then he would just stay squatted and just spin around and have his hands out with his palms up. And I'll go over that here in a minute too. But it's real easy to teach them to do that. They just kind of pivot, kind of squatted down and stay low instead of standing straight up and down. Um, Easy for this series too is the halfback always runs the sweep. The wingback will either block the sweep or run the counter. And we use the jump pass and the tall sweep pass were really super effective for us. Had a really good time with this series. Giles High School was Steve Ragsdale, and I don't know if you guys follow a lot of single wing coaches, but I think he's retired now. But he was one of the first playbooks I got a hold of from a current high school coach that was running this, and you'd watch him, and they would run 4 or 5 plays from this buck lateral series, and that was it. They didn't have any spin. They'd occasionally run a power play, but this buck lateral was what I mean, they were state champions and state runner-ups and just dominating people with this. But he would throw the ball a lot out of this too. So I kind of took his series because the way John Aldrich runs his buck lateral, he ran it out of the spin series, and I just thought that looked a little bit too slow for what I was doing. We'll start off with the quarterback. I want to go through each of the backs techniques because if you're teaching them this, there's a there's a lot of technique to this series, especially because we're going to bait people with this, and that's why you're going to see me do something with the football here that not really normal. But the first step, and you'll see this on anytime I have a quarterback, first thing you must do is secure the ball. You have to catch the snap. Nothing else will happen. You're not going anywhere. You're not handing it, running, doing anything until you secure the football. So we tell them to catch it with both hands and extend it, actually reach towards the blocking back and put the ball out. And it sounds dangerous, but I want the linebackers to see the ball. The blocking back's going to be spinning around, so we're going to extend it like we're going to hand it to him. And if you're going to run a keeper, like a trap, as you cross the blocking back, you just simply pull the ball back to your stomach and get in good carrying position. But we would run it slow to fast, and especially with our spin stuff, you hear me talk a lot about footwork. When we start, we'll spin fast to slow or slow to fast to get your timing up. But this one's a slow because you can't catch it and sprint through the line. You'll get your blocking back will only be about halfway around. So he catches it and he takes 2 slow steps, 3 slow steps, and then he accelerates through the line. If he's handing it to the blocking back, he's going to place it right in the basket. If he's not, he's going to pull it to his stomach and then hit the hole super fast. And we've always told him if he's handing it, he's got to either get tackled or take his fake past the linebackers. If he gets in the hole after he handed it off and stops and looks or stands up and doesn't get tackled, then linebackers are off to, whatever other option we're running off this. So, many times he would get tackled, but a lot of times we get after him when they don't. You want him to run past the linebackers, at least get somebody looking at him, making sure that he doesn't have the ball.